Europeans, what is something you've heard about America or seen on television and wondered if it were true? The yellow school buses. I couldn't believe they were actually a thing when I first went to the US. My friend from the Netherlands couldn't stop taking pictures of them. It was hilarious. Can you really turn right at a crossroads even if the traffic light is red? Usually, yes. It looks as though in all the American TV/movies I've seen that all Americans have to file their own taxes. Is this true? In the UK, this is done automatically by your employer. It is true, and it could very easily be done by the employer and government. In fact, they basically already know what we owe. Companies like TurboTax and H&R Block that charge people to do their taxes for them lobbied so that we would have to do our own taxes. Isn't that great? Are prices in stores marked tax-free and they tell you the full price at the checkout? Yes, sir. Until this afternoon, the gun shops. My mate is in Vegas at the moment, and he just posted a pic of him in a shop that looks almost identical to the ones in GTA. I just assumed that GTA was exaggerating. GTA is almost exactly like driving around Southern California. My friends and I marvel at how close it looks to real streets here. Are house parties common, and are they like in the movies with plus 30 drunk people and intercourse everywhere? I've never been to a house party where intercourse was everywhere, but yes, 30 to 40 plus drunk people with a few rooms where people kind of disappear to and come out awkwardly. Can you really end up at elite university when you're dumb as a brick but good at sports? Yes, is the short answer. Is New York City really as busy as it looks in movies? On TV, it looks like there's a billion people jammed in there, with everyone moving shoulder to shoulder in one huge angry mass, and you could lose a child if you blink. Is that just put on for the cameras to look busy? None of the cities here are anywhere like that. Yes and no. Usually in my experience, that's only around Manhattan, and although not as extreme as a lot of movies show it, there are a lot of unfocused people walking around. Can confirm, I've been to downtown Manhattan once and I was shocked at just how busy it was. And the traffic is no joke either. I had a couple from Seattle stay at my flat for a couple days as couch surfers, and I was quite surprised to hear them call each other honey or hun just like in the movies. Do you not have terms of affection for partners in Europe? My partner and I typically call each other love or handsome man and beautiful woman. Yes, we're those people. It's easy to get a weapon. I read Walmart sells weapons, so how is the process to get one? In Texas, buying a firearm is pretty easy. You go, and whoever is selling the firearm will do a quick background check, but if you're clean, you can walk out with a gun in under 30 minutes. Fascinating thread, so therefore, a new question. Is it really that risky to walk into a ghetto neighborhood in a big city, or is it more something people just say? Also wondering, as we have bad neighborhoods here as well, but if you walk through them at night, you really aren't that much more unsafe than in other parts of cities. In short, are there really no-go areas? Crap, I don't even live near the city, and there are areas I don't even like going to in the daytime. Jaywalking. How likely are you to get in trouble for it, and what are the punishments like? I'm British, and as a kid had no idea what jaywalking was. It was mentioned in American TV but never explained, so I assumed it was some sort of overly flamboyant walking. So, I actually asked a cop about this as a kid. There are crosswalks at lights and stop signs that are safe places to cross where vehicles have to give you the right of way. The cop then said you are allowed to cross anywhere, but if you interrupt the flow of traffic, then that is jaywalking. I don't know if that's the law or just what the cop told me, but there you go. Do people really have air conditioners just hanging out of windows only held in place by the window itself? It seems crazy unsafe. Yes, but window units are designed to be held in like that and are generally really safe when installed right. Is there really such a strict attitude towards teenagers drinking alcohol? In UK, 0 fricks are given. Legal drinking age is 21 nationwide, and if a teen gets caught by the cops, they can get in some pretty good trouble. Do the police really come to parties where people under the age of 21 are drinking and arrest everyone? Not arrest, but they will hand out citations to the easy targets. Mostly they just break it up. Do you guys seriously use those red cups at parties? Why not just drink straight out of the bottle or can? We do. They are cheaper to use than real cups, and usually kegs are present, which really aren't easy to pass around. Are the portions of food as big as everyone makes out? I've had a lot of people coming back from the States and tell me that the amount of food you get on a plate is insane. I'm not talking about fine dining here. I'm flying over in a little over a week, and I need to know if I should prepare myself. Pretty gosh darn good sized. Is it really flat, dry, and arid in some places? I've seen pictures or shows of colleges and towns that look like they're in the middle of nowhere and there are no hills or mountains for miles. Also, what is a Klondike bar? America is incredibly diverse. You name a climate and it's here somewhere. It can go from cold snow in the Rocky Mountains to the hot, dry desert of Phoenix. Yes, the desert looks just like the cartoons. Klondike bar is a hunk of ice cream covered in chocolate. This is a common novelty and comes in many forms. I haven't had one in years, but now I think I need one. Oh, you think you need one, eh? Well, then tell me, what would you do for a Klondike bar? My son ran outside to stop the ice cream truck yesterday. My Italian exchange student stuck her head out the bedroom window and yelled, "Oh my, they do exist, just like the movies." Not European, but always wanted to know just how popular is this spray cheese in a can stuff over there in the US. It's called Cheese Whiz, I think. Do many people actually eat that, or is it a sometimes food? USA is the only place I've heard of that has this product. Asking the important questions today. Cheese Whiz comes in a jar. Easy cheese is the stuff that comes in a spray can. Cheese Whiz is something that belongs on a Philly cheesesteak, fight me, and is best consumed at most once a year if you want to live a reasonably long life. Are weeks of paid vacation really that uncommon? Yes, the average corporation starts at 5 paid days off per year. As you get promoted, you graduate to 10 days, then 15, etc. But Americans don't take as many days off as Europeans do. Caucasian, is that just a term for white people? Yes, at least on official forms or if you're very PC. White is way more common for actual conversations. Have you really had that TiVo Telly on Demand thing for like 15 years? It came out in the UK like 3 years ago. What's going on? When it comes to watching as much TV as we can, I think us Americans have the rest of the world beat. Do you guys really pay everything when having dinner with a girl? That is pretty typical when you first start dating since you're trying to woo the girl. Once you're in a relationship, things tend to get split a little more. If my girl and I do dinner and drinks, I'll typically pay for dinner, then we will go someplace else for drinks, and she'll pay. Why does everyone live in dormitories on campus at university? In Australia, that is pretty much completely unheard of. You either stay living at home or live in a shared house off campus. In Britain, we live on campus too, then in second and third year, most likely move to an off-campus house with mates. There are actually some universities here in the States that require you to live in the dormitory for the first 2 years you attend school there. The reason is money. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. The depiction of your high schools fascinates me. Do you really split yourselves up into clear groups like nerds, freaks, jocks, cool kids, stoners, and all that? Do you really walk around dressed up in those identikit costumes from the TV shows and only sit with and talk to the others of that group? Do bullies in your schools really have an entourage of yes men who act that sycophantically and be in the background like, yeah, when the bully says something? Do bullies really do overt stuff like trip kids up in lunch hall and spill their food trays or give them wedgies? And how on earth does this not end up in dozens of fistfights? We didn't have geeks as such when I was in school. People were slightly more well-rounded, lol. But I would say even the dorkiest, goofiest kid wouldn't just stand there and take that. Do you really have events where you gather the whole school in the gym and yell and sing songs about how great the school is with speeches and stuff for the sports team? Do the alphabetic government organizations whose acronyms nobody can keep track of really just wave a magic badge at people and get instant compliance and deference straight away? Yes, sometimes, only in movies, yes, and what? I'm sorry, did that person say only in movies to that person describing pep rallies? Because let me tell you, pep rallies were extremely real in my school, and I hated them. It's like my school learned how to show pride in itself from North Korea. Do you really live in shared rooms at university? I couldn't imagine sharing a room with a stranger past like 15 years old. Is there really that many obese people? Yes. Do you guys really like our accents that badly? Yes. I was always wondering if people really work so many hours, like far over 50 to 60 hours per week up to 80 and more. Like bankers, lawyers, cops, and especially doctors, those working at hospitals, seem to have no life and be working night and day and always. I'm interested in any occupation. I only name those which I come across most on TV. Shown in pretty much in any TV show, Suits, Grey's Anatomy, any crime show. In Europe, most of these jobs would not even be allowed by law to work more than 38 to 40 hours per week, and we have so many bank holidays where everything apart from bars and restaurants is closed. So apart from 5-week holiday, do you get many bank holidays in addition? Edit. Thank you so much for the answers. I read them all and I'm very, very interested. So thanks for sharing. Typically, people in the US work 40 hours or less. We don't have as many days off, but there are people that work 100 plus hours. It really depends on the person and what they want to do. There are plenty of other factors like your home finances and what the job demands of people. I've worked jobs that took it as a given that you should be available to work well over 40 hours in a week if they asked you to, and they always asked. You see a lot of contradicting answers in this thread. That's because America is a large and diverse country. Things might be different from state to state and town to town. Is there really a social stigma against being an atheist? It depends on what area of the US you're in. In the Bible Belt, people care, but here in SoCal, no one gives a crap. Why are Americans obsessed with saying but all the time? Everything was bad but this or big but that, and every insult seemed to include but, e.g. butthole, jackbutt, etc. I'll refer you to Sir Mix-a-Lot, our national expert on all things but. Does everyone really identify themselves as Irish American or Italian American or German American or whatever as opposed to just plain old American? The thing with America is that most people can trace their heritage back several generations. Since we can, it's not uncommon to have grandparents or great-grandparents that are immigrants. While many Americans have never been to their homeland, we know where it is. Plus, when you have Wen, Hernandez, and O'Doyle as good friends, it's easy to guess where everyone is from. Do all of your high schools have that corridor of lockers? I've never seen that in any schools around here, but in American movies, they're everywhere. Not anymore. I saw a question about university dorms. Are fraternities such a big deal? It is totally alien to me in Scotland. They can be, but it doesn't have to be. Some people join fraternities, most people don't. If high school really has the tendency to have some main groups who mainly hang out and sit together in the cafeteria, like there are the cheerleaders, the footballers, the nerds, the punks, the skater boys, etc. And I would like to know if girls are really so mean at high school. Like if one girl or group of girls is popular, she is really a B and treats other girls, maybe less pretty/nerdy, badly. Since I take more interest in culture and society, I really wonder if white Americans and African Americans are really not hanging out a lot together. Like, you have so many shows where all main characters are white. Uncle Charlie, Gilmore Girls, New Girls, OC California, well, almost any show. Which is maybe one token black or Indian or Latino guy. And you have shows where everyone is African American. Prince of Bel-Air, Bill Cosby Show, Everybody Hates Chris. I know little about how this is in school because I grew up in a small town in northern Minnesota where my high school had as much diversity as a wedding dress shop. Was it a good idea to ask this question when it's currently 5 a.m. at the latest in the USA? America never sleeps. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.